everyone. Today we're going to be making a savory apple galette, which if you don't know what that is, think of it as a lazy woman's pie. And we're going to use some of the leftover shallot cranberry confit, which we made last week. You can find that on Wonder and Sundry. And if you don't have that, you could always just caramelize some shallots or onions or just some onions. But if you already have that made and on hand, this is going to go a lot faster. We're going to start by making a basic pie crust recipe. I am using the recipe 4 and 20 Blackbirds. It's on Food 5.2. And the reason why I'm using it is because it has a little apple cider vinegar, which I thought would nicely complement the apple cider vinegar that's in the confit. So to start, I have some flour, some sugar and salt, with some chilled butter on top. And I'm going to make this in the food processor just to help it to go a little bit faster. So we have the flour and butter pretty well mixed now. So now what we're going to do is start very carefully adding cold water. And in this recipe, it has a little apple cider vinegar. So we're going to do this 1 tablespoon at a time. Getting that in there, just pressing it a little bit. You just want to do it until the dough comes together. We're going to add another one. Else. And another one. So you can see that it's starting to come together now. So that's looking pretty good. So I'm actually only going to use a half a recipe to make my galette because I don't need a full portion of that lying around. So I'm shaping dough into first 2 parts, and then the part that I'm going to use, I have created 2 flat discs, which I'm going to roll together. That makes a nicer, flakier crust. Okay, so our dough has chilled, and now it's time to roll out the galette. Truth be told, I don't make pies that often, so this might be a little bit more of a do as I say, not as I do. So we're gonna roll it out. And yep, definitely do as I say. Alright, so it's important to roll in one direction. I learned this from my mom. So pick it up, and a little bit more flour, and roll again. We want to get it fairly thin and not drop it in the flour. Flip it some more. You want to work fast and be strong. Okay, so first we're going to add some cheddar cheese. I grated it finely and I put it back in the fridge so that it was nice and cool. It was time to work for this. So it might be a little bit hard to see because cheese is about the same color as the galette crust, but you want to leave a little bit of a margin here because we're going to be folding things in. So, good bit of cheese. Then we want to add the shallot cranberry confit that we made last week. So kind of spooning this out, and if you don't have this on hand, it's totally fine, but you'll need to caramelize some onions or shallots. Of course, making a lovely mess here. This out. So throwing this around on the galette. I'm trying to get some even slices. So the last little bit here. I had quite a few cheese courses, but I usually have leftovers of this. You might be hearing Ollie in the background. He is very interested in the cooking. Okay, so brown food tastes good, but now we're gonna make it pretty. So now we're going to start to arrange some apple slices, starting inside, kind of layering out. You want to slice these thin. Looks like some of them are thinner than others. But just laying them around. I got some lovely apples from Kimball Farm at the Union Square Farmers Market today. And they got mixed up a little bit as to what kind they were. So they are Mancoon and also some Macintosh. And I think there might even be a Paula Red in there. So we're gonna arrange some more apple slices and try and make it look a little bit prettier. And under there, need to be able to move that in from the margins. Okay, that'll look pretty enough. So now we're going to add a couple of other things. I'm going to add a few dried cranberries on top here, just because there's some in the confit, and I thought it would make it a little bit more autumnal. So there's that, and then a little bit of thyme. Yeah, gonna break some around. So the idea is that this is supposed to be a fairly small pie that I can have with my dinner, and then also, like tomorrow. And then I'm gonna do just a little bit of brown sugar on the top, just because it seems weird to me to have apples and no brown sugar. So now we are going to fold in. So the idea is generally that you want to kind of seal this up so it all cooks together. Fold it in. This is the lazy pie part. You didn't have to like press it into a pie tin or make a perfect tart and bake the blank. Just kind of fold it in. Then you want to arrange the apples in a circle. I added some dried cranberries and a few thyme leaves, and then we just fold up the edges of this galette, and then we are going to just brush the edges with cream. I looked at a few different ways of doing this, and this was one from Food 5-2 that I thought was interesting for a savory galette. So here we go. You might remember this brush from when I made finished butter eye buns. I only have one brush because I have a small apartment. So it's a little bit big for the baked goods, but we'll get it done. So we're brushing the edges so that they'll bake up nice and brown. And then we're gonna put it in the oven. It's a 400-degree oven. A full-size one takes about 35 to 40 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on this one, and I'll update you as to the bake time. Smell-o-vision, dear reader. What we need is smell-o-vision.